Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a late night installment of BrickWall Reviews. Late night? Why is he here late night? Well, it can only be one reason. That means it's a special occasion. That's right. So I just got out of seeing Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, and I wanted to come here and I wanted to make my review on this. Not gonna be here long, but so this movie, of course, is the uh depending on how you look at it, anticipated, um, long awaited, whatever the case may be. This is the latest entry into the MCU, and it is the third movie in the Ant Man series of movies. Of course, we had Ant Man back in 2015, Ant Man and the Wasp back in 2018, no, 2018, 2019. 2018, and now we had to Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, which just came out on this past Friday, Friday that just passed last Friday. So this here movie, I see that it's been getting a lot of flack about what it is. I haven't seen anybody else's reviews. You already know how I roll. I don't watch other reviews until I've seen and reviewed the movie first. But yeah, from what I've heard from different things and different tweets I see on the internet and all that good stuff, and different headlines and stuff like that, people are saying that this movie is bad. It's not that great. It's terrible. It's bad word of mouth going around about this film from what I see. However, I just talked to somebody, I just talked to my cousin, and he said like he has heard nothing but good things. So I'm here to tell y'all what I think about this movie. Before I get into it, I want to remind you guys, go ahead and hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And let me know, comment below. Let me know what you think about this movie, if you've seen it already, or what you've heard about this movie. So getting right into it. Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Just flat out, I'm going to say I liked this movie, okay? And I've been known to wear the cape for Ant-Man, in the MCU. I've been known to wear the cape, because I defended Ant-Man and the Wasp. The first Ant-Man is good. Everybody agrees that. But I defended Ant-Man and the Wasp because I thought that was good film, right? My thing is Ant-Man, no disrespect, but Ant-Man movies are always the mid-tier Marvel movies in my opinion. They're not always the strongest entries, and his character really doesn't have that much to like really do. You know what I'm saying? This movie kind of changes that just a teensy little bit. This movie has the big screen debut of Kang the Conqueror, which if you have seen the Loki TV series, that's where Jonathan Majors made his actual debut as Kang, and He Who Remains, which is just a Kang variant anyway in the Loki TV series. So that was on Disney Plus. That was his MCU debut there, but his big screen MCU debut is here as actual Kang the Conqueror, not He Who Remains, not none of the other fancy names. He's just straight up Kang the freaking Conqueror. So Ant-Man, Scott. Well, okay. So the movie starts like Scott. He's pretty much giving you an update on his life, how he's how he's been adjusting to life ever since the events of Infinity War and Endgame. He's famous now. He wrote a book about his life. He gets asked to take pictures. He's recognized. He's mistaken for Spider-Man for some freaking reason, but not for some reason. Like, come on, think about it. Think about it, right? He's mistaken. So, all that good stuff. His daughter, Cassie, who's now played by a different actress than the one that was in Endgame, which is very interesting to me, but I'm neither here nor there on that. Cassie, she meanwhile is kind of like, she's not like a troubled girl, not like a troubled youth, but she's pretty much kind of like making herself a hero. You know what I mean? Like she's doing heroic things because she pretty much just wants to step into that role of hero. Let's see. I gotta. Hold on. Okay. He had the Jack Kirby face lines from the comic. King was immaculate. MODOK bang to people. Okay, so I agree with you. I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to a couple of those things just in a second, especially the MODOK thing, because I kind of have a little bit of an issue with MODOK, but I'll get to that. So what was that? Oh yeah, so Cassie, she's just pretty much trying to do the heroic thing like her dad did and stuff like that. She gets a lot of flack for it, not like flack for it, but like Scott's like, yo, I don't want you really doing this. Like, I just kind of got back involved in your life, and he's pretty much like a scared dad, which is nice. Like, the dynamic between characters is nice. You know what I'm saying? So Cassie ends up building this device that connects and communicates with the quantum realm, and that ends up getting them sucked into the quantum realm. I'm not going to tell you how. I'm not going to spoil anything. But so while they're in there, it's discovered that Janet has a lot of secrets down there in the quantum realm. Remember, she was in the quantum realm for like what, 30 years, 30 some odd years. So she has a lot of history down there. She knows a lot about it. And they kind of showed this early in the movie where she's like really hesitant to talk about it. She doesn't want to talk about it at all. But yeah, so it's pretty much an adventure through the quantum realm. They're just trying to figure out how to get out. Very simple. But in the process of that, Kang is looking for her, which then brings us, I'm going to skip a lot of stuff, like I said, don't spoil this here, but that then brings us to MODOK. MODOK is problem number one I have with this movie. Not because of the design. Everybody saw the design. My thing, for people who had an issue with the design, my thing is MODOK is just a big-ass head on a floating chair with tiny little arms and tiny little legs. What did y'all expect him to look like in live action? I want to know. I want to know, what type of special effects did y'all expect MODOK to have on screen? Because there's only two ways you do it. You go completely CGI and completely create something from scratch, which is probably going to have the same effect anyway, or you do the big head ass version. You get an actual person that can emote and can do stuff, pay someone to stand in front of a green screen and just add the legs in the chair. And it's like, either way, it's gonna look weird. It's gonna look weird either way. And they make the obvious jokes about that in the movie. MODOK does have ties to an earlier piece of MCU canon. Again, not gonna spoil it, but it is interesting and it makes complete sense. And even if you want to talk about the design, even the design of MODOK still makes sense according to the MCU canon that we are giving. It makes complete sense. Yeah, and you know what? And the internet was mad at one point. They thought, I'm going to show this comment here. Remember how mad the internet was when they thought he was just the mask and some kind of robot? Y'all was mad when y'all thought he was a mask. Like, what did y'all expect? Like, it's freaking MODOK. Like, there's only but so much you can do in live action with that character. And I for one am glad we got MODOK, period, live action, because I could never really wrap my head around how that would like work. Like, how could they translate that? What could they do? But that aside, there's a point in the movie where they do something with MODOK, and it's not designed. It's just like character-wise, I didn't like where they left his character off. Me personally, I was like, oh, well, that kind of sucks. Like, I would like to see MODOK come back full evil. I mean, the door is open for that. He kind of, but I don't know. I mean, I would like to see the full-on evil plotting MODOK, and that's kind of where I was like, wow, that's the second most disrespectful thing they could do to. No, that's the most disrespectful thing they could do to MODOK here in this movie. How they left his arc off, right? And that's coming from someone who watched the Hulu series, which wasn't bad at all. Actually, it was pretty fucking hilarious. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But I didn't necessarily like where his character arc ended. But for all intents and purposes, MODOK was good in this movie. Like, the design, yes, the design. I mean, what could, like I said, what could you want from that? But his character traits were good, and I hope that they bring him back. And I hope he's a little bit more menacing and independent. And yeah, more of a problem. So outside of MODOK, of course, there's also Kang. And there are other characters in the movie too, but I don't really know how to like describe them. Like, there's a goo monster or a goo creature that desperately wants to have holes, which I think is going to become a very dirty internet thing very shortly. Like, what's Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, his Disney Plus? The little goo creature who has a fascination with holes is going to become a whole nother thing, and I don't know if I want to look into it, but I know I'm going to see it. So rest in peace to my eyelids. Rest in peace to my eyeballs. Okay, that's gonna be fucking crazy. But so yeah, so Kang. I'm gonna get to the bread and butter of this movie. Kang was a magnificent performance, number one, which you already know is going to be a magnificent performance if you saw Loki. But I think that Kang was good. I think Kang was really good. Jonathan Majors was clearly having the time of his life in this role. I would say more so than Loki, honestly. Because with Loki, he got to be like a little more loose and fast with it. But this one, he was like way more menacing, and you can feel the menace. Like even when he showed up the first time on screen, he didn't really say much. He just had like one sentence. I was like, oh, that guy's evil. Like I felt the menace in that. But what I do like the performance, man. And I was just telling my cousin when I called him after I left the movie, I was like, yo, Kang going off the hands, whole nother deal, man. Like Kang was putting the pieces on Scott. I mean, and Scott held his own, don't get me wrong, but Kang was tearing his behind up. I ain't gonna hold you. Let's see. That other character story ended in this movie, so he comes back. I hope so. I hope that's the case. Let me get back to MODOK. So yeah, MODOK is dope. I liked MODOK. I like what they not MODOK. What am I talking about? Kang. Kang was dope. I like what they did with Kang. I like how menacing his character was. I like how they don't hold back on his views of everything. Like he's just pure evil. And you can tell that this one is pure evil. But also, again, and I don't mean to say go do your MCU homework, because like you don't have to, but because he kind of explains it. But if you're someone who likes to go do the MCU homework, then go watch like I think the last 2 episodes of the Loki TV series, and you'll be caught up automatically. But yeah, you can tell like this is a version of Kang that's just like, you know, you get his story and you see, I can't spoil it, but you see what he's gone through and the lengths he's willing to go to. And it's like, yeah, nah, this guy's a problem. Like, it was a point of the movie where I thought he was really about to, get what he wanted. I was like, oh, damn. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I can't say it enough. I did enjoy Jonathan Majors' performance. He was just as threatening as he was like a mob boss, but he also kind of made you think, well, is he really that bad though? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just twisted though. Like, but I kind of like for a while I was kind of like playing back and forth. I was like, but is he really that bad? Is he really that bad? I was like, nah, he's straight up evil. With Hope Van Dyne Wasp. Yeah, this was okay. Let's talk about our heroes. I think Hope was really good. Hope is the Wasp. I think she was good in this. I liked her a lot in Ant-Man and the Wasp. I liked her a lot in there. I thought she had some really good action sequences. In this one, she had some good ones too. She had some good character moments, and I do enjoy that. Scott's daughter, Cassie, she gets her, she has a suit made for her, so she can grow and shrink. And I like those moments that I like the father-daughter aspect between Scott and Cassie. It's really good. It's good. It's enjoyable. It gives a lot of emotion, a lot of heart to the movie. To whereas myself as a father, I'm thinking like, dang, if I was in that situation, man, Scott, I feel for you. Even when he stepped to Kang, like Scott was tough in this. Scott stepped to Kang, was like, yo, don't you touch my daughter again, or it's on sight. Now he didn't say that last part, but you could see it in his eyes that he was ready to say, yo, it's on sight. You touch my daughter again. And so I'm like, just like I said, like me as a father, I was like, yo, I gotta go to bat for my kid like that too. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna let Ant-Man outdo me in the father department. That's a whole other story though. But yeah, let me see what else. Hank was okay, so it's a really cool part. I ain't gonna hold you. It's a really cool part with Hank in this movie. That I don't want to spoil, but I kind of knew it was coming but not like immediately. Like it took me a couple of times to know that something was gonna happen with that, but I didn't know that was gonna happen. And I was like, wow, I was kind of surprised by it. And I did like that, and it brought in the title of the hero. Okay, I kind of spoiled it, but the title of the hero is put to good use in the movie, and so I thought it was great. I liked that. Like I say, it's not really much I can say about this movie without like really getting in depth and spoiling it, which I don't like to spoil. Very much, especially since it's a fresh movie and everything. Everybody still has to see it. I only saw it because it was $6 Tuesday at my local movie theater. So I mean, you know, $6 for the tickets out of the way. If it was only more than $6, I probably would have still been home. But that's because I'm cheap. But yeah. Okay. I want to talk about the ending, not the post-credit scenes, but the ending of the movie. Like where, because in the beginning, Scott's doing his narration of his life. And so at the end, he goes back to doing that narration. And the narration gets so, I love, if y'all been watching the channel long enough, y'all know I love when things get eerie out of the blue. I love eeriness. I don't know why. I love it because it sends a sensation through my body that the fear, the adrenaline of the fear. It gets eerie because Scott is questioning certain things. And when he's going through that, I was sitting there in the theater. I'm the only one in the theater. I was the only one in there tonight. It was kind of weird myself. But I'm like, oh, damn. Like, oh, like, and it's just so, I was like, yo, no. So that was cool. And when you get to that moment in the movie, just know, I freaked out a little bit. I was like, oh, damn. Oh, shit, Scott. Oh, boy. Ooh. Because especially since we know, yes, that exactly that. That's what I've been trying to say. I couldn't find the word for it, but this comment right here has the ending monologue was so sinister. It absolutely was, and it went there, and then it kind of went back. Oh no! This happy. Then like right before the last second of the film, and I love things like this. Right before the last second of the film, it gets sinister again, as if to remind you, like, hey, it's not all happy donkey though. Like shit's about to get real. And of course, as MCU fans, you know, those of us who keeping up with things like that, we all know that the next Avengers movie is called Kang Dynasty. We've all known that Kang is just a variant. He even says it in the movie. He's a variant of himself, and there are worse versions of himself out there that and so much so that you don't really even know which one's the worst at this point. And I say that part in particular because stick around for both post-credit scenes. You'll see what I mean. If you need a picture painted for you, stick around for both post-credit scenes, especially the first one. You will know exactly what I mean when I say there is no way to tell who is worse until we see them. But all I got to say, and excuse my French, all I got to say is that the Avengers are quite possibly completely fucked. That's all I got to say. Excuse my French. They are screwed because Kang is something else, man. And I'm just saying, if he could curb stomp, but I mean, it's just Ant-Man. No disrespect, but it's just Ant-Man. But if he curb stomping and throwing the pieces like that, and then talking about he killed the Avengers mad different times, all this is said in the trailers. I'm not spoiling anything. But if he's saying he's killed the Avengers mad different times and stuff like that, come on, bro. You already know he a problem, and you already know they are in deep doo-doo. So I cannot wait to see how this plays out. The second post-credit scene makes me excited for a certain MCU product that is getting a season 2 that we all know is getting a season 2. Think about it. Think about which one. Hint, the only other one Kang was involved in. Hint, I'm hoping that second season comes out this year because you cannot drop that post-credit scene like that and not have that season come out this year. That is insanity. That is the definition of insanity. And Marvel, we tired of waiting for things nowadays. Like, come on, that's a whole other thing though. But overall though, this movie was not bad. I say all that to say this movie was not a bad movie. Like I feel like it was overhyped. I feel like it hyped itself up like to this really big point where you got to market your movie, especially nowadays, like post-pandemic. You want to get people into theaters, you want to get asses in seats. I understand that, but this was this was good. I enjoyed it. I had a good time watching it. I wasn't thinking like, oh damn, how bad is this gonna be? And honestly, I thought it was a good time. And I think that a lot of people would think that it was a good time if you go in just knowing that you're watching not just an Ant-Man movie, but an Ant-Man movie that is set to be a pivotal piece of the MCU future. And even if you take the pivotal piece of the, because I did that while I was watching the movie, I was like, okay, let me not look at this as an introduction to the next phase of Marvel. Let me look at this as an Ant-Man movie. It's good. Like, it's good. Unfortunately, this does not stand alone though. Like, you can't just jump in. You can't just watch Ant-Man 1, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania and get a full, complete, concise story. You can get complete character arcs, but in terms of like the story, you do kind of got to jump into like a couple of the Avengers movies, right? Like, you definitely got to jump into Civil War. You definitely got to jump into Endgame. At the most, you got to jump into those two. Anything else is kind of optional. Well, no, because those are only other two he was in. He was in Civil War, and then he was in Endgame. So yeah, you kind of got to watch those two. Another comment here, and thank you for tuning in, Josh. Thank you, I appreciate you, man. Did you notice that the one character in that scene was? Yeah. Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's a piece of history I didn't know. I'm not like too deep into the comics and everything, but that's interesting. That is interesting. If it was someone's first Marvel movie, it'd be just like a superhero Wizard of Oz. You know, probably. I mean, if this was like, all right, yeah, that's interesting. From the perspective of this being someone's first Marvel movie, I think this will get people hooked. I think this will get people interested to know, okay, well, who's this character? Like, what other adventures did they have? Let me go back and watch the other stuff. And I think this would be a nice entry point for somebody. But I mean, overall, like, I didn't think it was bad. I thought the performances were good. I thought the story arcs were good. The character arcs were good. Like, it just wasn't bad to me. It wasn't bad. Like, I don't see where people are saying it's bad. Like, and people are saying like scorching this movie, like, oh, it's terrible. This is the downfall of the MCU. Oh, MCU's lost their touch. And I'm just like, nah, this was good. Like, and again, I liked Ant-Man and the Wasp more than a lot of people did. Like, to this day, like, my ex and my best friend are just like, nah, we still don't fuck with Ant-Man because of that movie. Like, that movie kind of dragged it down. So, I mean, and I'm like, yo, but I defended that movie as much as I could. You know, but I mean, you know, and that one was, you know, I can admit that Ant-Man and the Wasp was a little mid, but Quantumania was like, it was good. Like, it recovered the Ant-Man franchise for me. But that's all I got to say, though. Currently, and to add to all the criticism of this movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania currently has a 48% on Rotten Tomatoes, and apparently this is like the second lowest score for a Marvel film. I'm not too sure on that, but I think that's what I heard. 6.6 out of 10 on IMDb. But me personally, I give this a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Right? It was good. I would give it a 4.9, but the 4.9, all of that's coming from Jonathan Major's performance, right? If his performance wasn't as strong, I would kind of like, you know, I would keep it at the 4 or 5 as that. But his performance is strong. I would want to put it at 4.9, but I'm being fair to the movie overall. It's a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I will, and Josh, I will make sure y'all look out at CBR for Josh's articles. I'll make sure I look at them, man. Because yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, you know, yeah, I'm obviously I'm gonna go and I'm gonna watch some reviews when I'm done with this just to see what people say about it. But you know, I liked it. Like I said, 4.5 out of 5 stars. It was enjoyable. Make sure you check it out. The movie, it's not that long. It's 2 hours and 5 minutes long. It's not that long at all. I say not that long. I mean, 2 hours and 5 minutes, but not longer than anything else you see. And it's on the shorter end of 2 hours. PG-13, obviously, yes, it is appropriate for kids. So what else can I say? Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. If you can, make sure you check it out. If you want to wait for Disney Plus, feel free, do what you want to do. I'm not here to tell you how to watch the movie, but I do encourage you to watch the movie for yourself and don't let the other opinions drag you down, because it was good. I thought it was good. So I was here way longer than I thought I was going to be talking about Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, which goes to prove there's something to talk about, because if this was a bad movie, I would have been done 10 minutes ago. I don't like to talk about bad movies that long. I don't like to make writers and directors like they work hard, and I like to make them feel bad. Okay, I'm rambling now. So anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about this movie, or if you see it after you or before you watch my review, whatever the case may be. Let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear from everybody. But until then, the Black Excellence Month is still on. Just know that, and I'm probably going to be right back here in 10 minutes, because I got another review scheduled for right now, because I didn't want to move the time. But anyway, just check it out. Subscribe to Instagram, follow us on social media, all that good stuff. And until next time, be easy, stay breezy, peace.